Hello, hello. I am testing out the sound like usual, and I will fix this. Hello, hello, hello. And I'm only, what, 4 minutes late? Okay, I guess that's better than what I usually do. Hey there. And I can hear myself, so let me turn this down. Awesome sauce. Turning this all the way down. And let's fix this. It is Sunday. It is virtual brunch. And let me fix this camera. I have been streaming and teaching myself prompt engineering for 6 months. Before I start talking about that, though, I am going to move this to screen share. It has all of it shut off. Okay, let's go back to this screen share. It doesn't like me going back to this screen share. I'll just add a backwards camera to this screen share since it's not liking any of the stuff I'm doing. 6 months in, and I am still having technical difficulties, mostly because I did not get myself prepared in time. All right, that is that. And thank you for joining. If you are joining, my name is Julie. I'm here as the Social Work Expat. I am the only social worker who is certified in AI currently. And I have been teaching myself prompt engineering for 6 months. Somehow, this is my left hand, so I'm going to flip this. All right. Somehow, I've gotten it into my head that it is a good idea for me to stream. And so here we are streaming. It's been fun. And I have also learned a lot. AI has changed my life. It is already Sunday. It is already Sunday, and I am 3 days, no, 8 days away from going off to California. Anyway, let's get it going because I haven't eaten anything today. So this is virtual brunch, but I haven't had actual brunch or breakfast. I've been kind of a little busy, but the thumbnail looks good and I got the camera to work. So I'm calling it a win. Now, I said who I am. I said it's Sunday and it's virtual brunch. I haven't talked about the fragrance. So let's talk about the fragrance. Today I am wearing a fragrant body oils. This is another sample. This one is called Amethyst and it's nice. I'm not in love with it. It's nice. I think it is, while it's a unisex fragrance, and I think that it is based off of, I'm going to say it wrong, Bodicea, Boudicai, Bodicea the Victorious, Amethyst. But while they say that it is definitely unisex, to me it smells more masculine than I want. Like, if you want to smell dude-like and you enjoy like the name goes with the fragrance. So it does feel like it smells kind of purple. It has kind of some deep, maybe cinnamon. It doesn't have an overt cinnamon scent to it, and it doesn't smell like black currant or anything. But a little too dude-like for me. I'm sure I could sweeten it up with all of the sweet fragrances that I have. My nose must be changing because I really loved sweet fragrances, and now I kind of can't love them as much as I used to. Good thing there are perfume oils and decants and samples everywhere. Plus, if you have if you have fragrance oils, right? And you have these little teeny tiny fragrance oils and you don't know what to do with them, you can always mix them with a an unscented body wash or an unscented lotion. I prefer Nivea or baby wash because baby body wash doesn't have any smell at all, and creamy baby oil of like baby products variety will keep mosquitoes away when it's mosquito time. It's not mosquito time here because it's only January. So that's the fragrance and craft. I talk about this stuff every week, as my daughter will attest. Craft. I kind of sort of don't have a craft that I'm going to work on camera today, but I did set up for another necklace. These, so I have a set of like centrifugal little test tube things. These are really good for when you're traveling and you only need a certain amount of your lotion or your body wash or your Zip Fizz if you need to stay awake because you're in meetings all day and you want to portion it out. Because there are the graduated lines here, this is really helpful. Anyway, the next necklace is going to be these pearl looking seed beads, and the light is making it so you can't see it very well. And then I set up my wire, but I have figured out because I cannot walk and chew gum at the same time, I have a craft. I'm not going to work on the craft. I'm just going to run my mouth for a little bit and talk about AI before I talk about AI. And that's all I do. So for Sunday brunch, all I do is run my mouth. That's it. And talk about AI. But first, I run my mouth. So I'm going to do that. And Mama, hi, Mama. If you have something you want me to talk about in terms of AI or something you want me to run my mouth about, I'm happy to do that too. I will say, I'm going to start with a story because I love stories. Read my text messages? Okay. Do you want me to read? I will not read it out loud because who knows what's in my text messages. Okay. Thanks. Thanks, face. It says, for the AI portion of our festivities, my son would like me to ask ChatGPT. He didn't say ask, he said tell. But if you have watched me do any prompt engineering, you know that I ask. And then when it doesn't do what I want, then I tell. But ask ChatGPT to summarize the entirety of Jujutsu Kaisen up to this point in chronological order, seasons 1 and 2 of the anime and the movie. I will do that when it is time for me to do all the little fun and games with AI. But I'm going to tell a story first because that's what I do. And I try to stay on format. sort of, kind of. You might also notice the background is the same, but I have a higher chair. This is to help my neck because I use this chair when I work from home as well. Thanks for the heads up, Mama. I read the text messages, though it was only one. I will do that. And while I have the screen up, this QR code right here brings you to my Fiverr. If anyone is interested in having me help them learn prompt engineering, or if they have a business idea and they would like to have me help them come up with a plan for their business, or they have an idea, they don't really know if it's business worthy, I can help with that as well. Um, One of the advantages of being a social worker is that I am trained to listen to people. And one of the advantages of being a background person in corporate environments is that I am paid to listen to people one way or the other. But I have learned so much over the many, many years that I have been working. I've been working since I was 12, had a paper route, and all of that. That's not the story. Let me get to it. What I ask every week, except for that one week where all I did was AI stuff, is who is benefiting from the story that you are telling yourself. And one of the stories that I heard this week, I need to get it off my phone because I'm pretty sure I put it in my phone. Nope. Okay. Then I'm going to tell it a different way. Over on LinkedIn and Instagram and many other places, but over on LinkedIn, I'm just going to bring up my LinkedIn actually. That will probably be the best thing for me to do. And while I do that, I will tell a different who is benefiting from the story you are telling yourself story. I'm going to close this window off real quick and make this bigger because I love seeing myself on camera, but I didn't put all this makeup on for nothing. And I didn't talk about the lashes. They're still here and I'm still happy with them. Thanks so much, Desiree. You do a fantastic job. So one of the things that I ask is who is benefiting from the story you were telling yourself is there's a genius inside of every single one of us. And I should know because I have worked with geniuses and been in school with geniuses my whole life. That includes not just when I was working for what people call bona fide geniuses in academia, but also my clients when I was practicing in the field social work. There is a genius inside of all of us. And what winds up happening is that we either have never been told that, we never felt that, or we have let people talk us out of that. Um, Still bringing something up. Uh-oh, I think I killed it. I hope I didn't kill my laptop. The whole screen just went, the whole screen went white, and at least it's not spinning. So I guess I'm going to run my mouth without the screen. One of the posts that I was looking for was about Dr. Bailey at Lincoln University. She was an academic. She was the director of vice president of student affairs. Yep, it crashed. Whoopsie doodles. Let's see if we can get it to work. And she left us on this earthly realm last week due to workplace bullying. This was a woman who was an academic. This was a woman who did, because you don't really get to that point in your career without jumping through every single hoop that you were told. If you are a good girl and you do exactly what we tell you, you're going to do just fine. No, not really. At this point on LinkedIn and other social media, I have seen too many Black women who are not getting a return on their investment for being good and for doing what mainstream society tells us will get us ahead. It is costing us everything. If you are a Black woman and you have ever started losing sleep because of a job, I love to sleep, losing weight because of a job, gaining weight because of a job, losing your hair because of a job, losing your relationships because of a job, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. There are other things to lose. You can lose your reputation because of a job. I'm going to pull up this lady's face. I want to show the entire post because it will show her face, and I want to commemorate Dr. Bailey. Let's move this on back down and open this back up. Okay, so this is the post. It's Dr. Antoinette Candia Bailey, Vice President of Student Affairs at Lincoln University, Missouri. Reportedly, you can read the rest from, quote, bullying and severe mistreatment, end quote, and her role. No one should have to feel that way at work or anywhere else. So my question goes back to, who is benefiting from the story that you are telling yourself? I am going to read my post, and I know that this post won't get a lot of engagement, but I'm going to read it. This post won't get much engagement, and that's okay by me. To all of my beautiful, persistent, integral relatives, friends, and sorors, get out of unhealthy situations as soon as you safely can do so. Your mental health depends on it. Your physical health might depend on it. Your very life might depend on it. As a Black woman who has worked in this country since I was 12 as a social worker, as a mom to a Black daughter, as an independent researcher, and as a human with eyes and ears and a heart to see, I have seen and heard the news of too many Black women working too hard for too little. Too many Black women in academia have died at work, and now because of work. May Dr. Candia Bailey's soul find the peace and rest that we all deserve. If you need a supportive sounding board, I am available. As a social worker, that is what I used to do for my clients in the field. And That is now what I do with my life coaching work as well. You can find my resources and my Fiverr link right here. You can use the QR code or the website. But my question still remains, who is benefiting from the story you are telling yourself? And if part of your story is telling yourself that if I just do a good job, I will get recognized for it. Or if I just hold on a little bit longer, or I fight just a little bit harder, I will get the recognition that I deserve. I will get the apology that I deserve. I will get the thank you that I deserve. I was trying to figure out the right word. Um, Whatever decision you make for you is the right decision. But I will say that what I have noticed is that our apology is not coming. Our thank you is not coming. Putting more resources, more of our very limited, precious life essence into fighting to get recognized by a group or by a person or by an institution or sometimes by the critic in our own heads, fighting for that is definitely not going to give the return that we feel like it will from what I've seen. But if you've had a different result and you are a Black woman, please tell me. I would love to know. I would love to have the chance to interview you and ask you how you got a different result. I would love to know. And there, I believe, are millions of Black women around the country and around the world who would love to know how you got a different, more positive outcome. So that's that. That's that for today. My question will always remain that who is benefiting from the story you are telling yourself? I was going to tell a different story this week, but that's the story. And now I'm going to do some AI stuff. All right, let me open a new tab. And while I'm opening this new tab, we're talking about 6 months in, what has changed in generative AI. I will open, I actually haven't opened ChatGPT on the free version in a long time. So I think I'll open the free version of ChatGPT. I will also open Bard and I'll open Claude. One of the things that I learned in my 6 months of prompt engineering work is that the base and the foundation for all quality results coming from these generative AI models is the ability to prompt engineer or to make effective prompts. We got chat.openai.com. Let's see if I can get that free version up and log in. That's a good thing. I don't remember my login for the free version. Let's see if it'll work. Okay, continue. Oh, thank goodness I saved it. Because I don't remember. Okay, free version of ChatGPT. Let's see what you look like because I haven't used you in months. And now I will open Claude as well. I will also say that I definitely cannot walk and chew gum at the same time. And if I can do this, which is if I can learn how to prompt engineer, how to maybe late, but how to live stream, how to make thumbnails, how to use text to image generators, how to make my own webinar. If I can learn how to do those things, anybody can learn how to use AI. What I would like to do is there. Okay, ChatGPT is open. It's asking what it can help me with, and all right, I really haven't opened this thing in ages. Okay, we have all of our chatbots open, and I will now reopen the window view. We're good to go. Okay, there we go. I'll go to ChatGPT because as you can see, over on the left-hand side is what I was looking at with the free version. Yeah, this was the free version of ChatGPT that I used to teach myself how to prompt engineer. And this was back in July. Things have changed. Things really done changed. And I will talk a little bit about how things have done changed with these chatbots. Right here is talking about tips to get started. It says ask away. It says ChatGPT can answer questions, help you learn, write code, brainstorm together, and much more. It says here, and I've talked about this in other streams, but don't share sensitive info. Your chat history may be viewed or used to improve our services. Learn more about your choices in our help center. And then it says, check your facts. And it says here, while we have safeguards, ChatGPT may give you inaccurate information. It's not intended to give advice. All right, let's click this away. So when I first started working with ChatGPT, and all of the chats are here, and these chats were linked in my lunchtime live streams. There was only one version of ChatGPT. Everything was free. There were not upgrades to the plans, and it was open for people to test out and use, but it was also open. And what I mean by that is that anything that anybody put into ChatGPT would go into feeding the large language model, and it also would go into the answers that other people were looking for. Um, when I went to Berkeley back in October to get certified by their AI Institute, I did learn a lot of the policy and regulatory changes that have been happening. I'm going to move myself right up here so we can see the whole screen. And with some heat from the feds, our friends with the large language models that have generative AI capabilities have put guardrails on what comes out of these models. This was in October. So I started in July And 3 months later, in October, we started to see some changes in these chatbots. The free version of ChatGPT does not give like open answers anymore. It will only give very surface level, kind of quick answers. And there are two reasons for that. The first reason is because of the heat from the feds. Straight up. The second reason is because OpenAI figured out that this is a money maker. As soon as a technology or an idea or something shows proof of concept enough that it will prove that it's going to make money, you best believe that it's not going to be open anymore. And that's exactly what's going on with this. And I'm turning the sound down. Okay, there we go. That's exactly what's happening with ChatGPT. Um, this doesn't like, my phone does not like me being on this, but that is okay. I think I am going to test out one of my very first prompt engineering sessions. I am going to use the role chat. This one is from way back in July. Let's see if I can bring it up to home. So Control H for home does not work on ChatGPT. I already asked, and this is from way back in July, asking about what a role-playing prompt is for AI, and it gave this whole explanation. I am going to copy this prompt and just paste it in. What this says is, role, you are a successful social media marketer with over 10 years of experience. You specialize in creating content plans for creatives and artisans. I am your new client, a jewelry maker who is just starting to use social media to sell her handmade jewelry. Please provide a 30-day Instagram content plan for my new jewelry line. Please ask me any questions you need answered to help create the content plan. That is from way back in July. And I'm going to send the message and see what this conversation, which I already had like 6 months ago, is going to yield this time. Okay. And so it's saying the exact same thing. It's asking for answers to the brand identity, target audience, unique selling proposition, brand values, key product categories, and upcoming events or promotions. Question. Let's go back up here. Way up here. Way up here. Right? And it says, great. And it's not asking it the same way. It actually asks, what is the primary? Here are the key questions. It asked these questions, it asked it in a very different way. And it says, there's 10 questions. Once you provide answers to these questions, I'll be able to develop a comprehensive 30-day Instagram content plan tailored to your needs and brand identity. So did ChatGPT say the same thing? Nope. It says feel free to share any additional information you have in mind for your Instagram content plan. I'm going to start a new chat. This one's already been trained a little bit. Let's start a new chat. It's same role thing and see if it will tell me the same thing. Yep, it's the same. It asked it in kind of a, asked it in kind of a nicer way, and it also said once I have this information, I can tailor a 30-day Instagram content plan that aligns with your branded business goals. So it's saying the same thing but restating it, and it's saying it in a slightly different way. This one has 5 questions, and where's my little wizard friend? Here we go. This one has 6 questions, and they're different questions. So exact same prompt, giving me a different set of questions to answer and a different tone. So that's interesting. I'm going to move over to Bard. Bard is an AI chatbot owned by Google. Bard, when I first learned of Bard, Bard was free. Bard is still free. However, back in December, maybe late November, it was around holiday time. Bard announced, or Google announced, that they have a new large language model, which is what these AI chatbots root from, called Gemini. And there is talk, which I talked about a few weeks ago on Sunday, there is talk that Google is going to have a paid version of their AI chatbot, which is based off of the Gemini platform, based off of that large language model. If that is the case, Bard, which right now is free, it is tied to the internet, it is very similar to OpenAI, is probably going to start putting gates on their information as well so that they can funnel people to using their paid products. But okay, I just put this in. It's the exact same prompt. I just put it into Bard and let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so Bard has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions in terms of about me and my jewelry. And then it has 1, 2, 3, 4 questions about my social media presence. It says the more information I can share, the better. It can tailor the content plan for my specific needs and target audience. Super long, but it has a much more bulleted list conversational tone than our friend ChatGPT, but it's pretty much asking the same types of questions. Now I'm going to move over to our friend Claude, and I'm just going to paste the exact same prompt into Claude. So I learned about Claude, I want to say in September. And one of the advantages back then of using Claude as an AI chatbot was that instead of feeding your information that you give to it into its large language model, Claude closed their model. So it wasn't going to tell or use what you provided to it for other people's responses, and it was not using your data or information that you give to it to feed its large language model. So it was closed, and that was a good thing for people who, let's say, they have proprietary or sensitive information that they wanted to get feedback on from an AI chatbot. Claude was good for that without having a Samsung problem, because you can look back at one of my old streams where I talked about the fact that employees, software developers at Samsung, and while I'm saying this, I will let this execute, but software developers at Samsung went and there we go, went and put some of their code into our friend ChatGPT, and the code wound up proprietary code, which was only kept within Samsung's ecosystem, then became part of the great all that is OpenAI's large language model. This one right here. Samsung freaked out and was like, can you pull our proprietary code out of your large language model? And OpenAI was like, no, sorry. They lost like $3 billion because they lost that proprietary information. One of the things that changed in the past 6 months is, oh no, if ChatGPT right here, I'm going to click here about upgrade plan and see what happens. Okay, if ChatGPT has our little free version here, but then they have Plus, which I am paying $20 a month. But here it's showing $16.66 per month. And if any of my friends in internet land are conspiracy theorists, have fun with that number. But this one is billed annually. Then, and this is a new change, like this is new, team version is new from last week for OpenAI. They have added the ability to collaborate in a team, and also the team data is excluded from training by default. That is new. And this plan right here, it says, do you need more capabilities? See ChatGPT Enterprise. It doesn't even show it as an option in a table format because ChatGPT Enterprise is for multiple users, and we go from $0 per month to, the last time I heard, it was $60 per month per user for Enterprise. Well, nobody's going to want to pay for the Enterprise version of ChatGPT if you've come to find out that what you put into it is feeding its model and is going to be open to just any old person who's using the free version. So within the past 6 months, these pricing tiers, all the way to our very newest friend team here, were added to ChatGPT. Let's see if it'll close. But I said all of that to compare it to Claude, which Claude had gates on its training and release of people's personal proprietary information that ChatGPT did not have. Now, what has changed with AI in the past 6 months? Well, I got an email 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks ago about Claude, and Anthropic, right here, this little AI, or A with a little slash, stands for Anthropic, which is the company that owns Claude, sent out an email, and it said that they were changing their terms of service. Now, you might not think about it too much, but Changing the terms of service basically means that um, I'm just checking my phone to make sure things are still rolling. Well, you know what? As soon as they change the terms of service, it's because they're bringing out tiered pricing too. I haven't seen it yet, but I have seen where there are some changes to what Claude will give as output, and there are changes to the number of interactions or prompts that you can put in during one given session with Claude. So, for our example prompt, which is a prompt that I used back in July for our jewelry 30-day content plan, Claude is asking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Claude is also asking 10 questions. And a lot of this sounds very similar to OpenAI's response as well. I have found now, now that we're farther down the road, Claude and OpenAI's ChatGPT are very similar in their responses. I can put the same prompt, because I do this just to see if I get a different response. I can put the same prompt into Claude and into ChatGPT, and their responses are very similar. But I will say, and I'll move this over here, close this sidebar. I will say that ChatGPT, while see how wordy this is? Like it'll ask super long questions or give super long explanations and not say a lot. Whereas I have found that Claude gives me more pointed, in-depth information that I'm looking for. And this is from the free version that OpenAI's ChatGPT doesn't do. Now, with Bard, I've talked about this many a time. Bard is connected to the internet. And that's helpful because you can double check the response. This free version of ChatGPT is not connected to the internet and is using older information from, I want to say, January of last year. Why am I saying that's old information? Because these things move so very fast. So fast. It's kind of hard to keep up. But these three chatbots, and I'll move ChatGPT over to the front. These three chatbots have changed within the past 6 months of just what I have observed. And as I mentioned, I really feel like a lot of these changes are from the federal government's oversight as well as the European Union signing their AI legislation, but also money. I'll put this back here. Money. Everything comes back to money. And while these were fun little experiments, and to me this is fun because I'm a gigantic nerd. I'm going to move myself back down here. These are, while these were fun and experiments, these companies could talk about use cases and being not for profit, which, if you didn't know, hold on, let me go back here. If you did not know, OpenAI, their business format is that they're a nonprofit. Whose major investor is Microsoft? But that's a whole different thing. When there's money on the line and artificial intelligence, especially the generative artificial intelligence sector, is like a $12 trillion industry. That's a lot of money on the line. And as soon as dollar signs start to be part of the equation, things start to get really interesting. Hi there. Hold on, I need to move my glasses so I can see. Hi there, Vitor Swiss. Nice to see you. I do virtual brunch talking about AI every Sunday and also run my mouth. So here I am talking about AI and running my mouth. The main thing I wanted to say about AI today was that in the just 6 months that I have worked with it, the landscape has changed dramatically. People are making a lot of money in AI in ways that we haven't even really begun to see. So many ways. And if you haven't noticed yet, you will, because your life is going to be very, very different very soon. Your work life, your travel life, your home life, the way that you get your entertainment, all of that is changing. And it's changing because generative AI is available to everyone. Now, my final thing about what has changed in AI, 6 months into me learning prompt engineering, is this was open. AI was open and available to anyone who had a phone. Anybody. You had an internet connection and you could put the website address into your phone. You had access to what, if you've watched anything else that I've done, what I call the great all. And every single one of these models is built off of the internet. So it's built off of what we do, what we have done on the internet. But it's not going to be open for much longer. And that is what I see changing with generative AI. There are going to be many gates put on the way that lots of people can access information easily, because really that is what generative AI allowed. It allowed access to everything that was put into it, which is a snapshot of the entire internet generally, with a couple of sentences. That is going away for open access. I will say to people, if you have not used artificial intelligence, generative AI yet, please practice it, please learn it, because your life is about to change, and the free access, I feel like, is going to go away very soon. If you have questions about AI, or you have like social work questions that you want me to answer, I'm happy to do that. I am going to say, I'm going to move this. Hold on. It doesn't like, I am not good at this. I won't say it doesn't like. I'm not good at this particular part. I will put myself right here in the middle and say, if you were here to hear about what I feel like the changes have been in the past 6 months with AI, I am done with that. It has been a pleasure to have you here, and I thank you for coming along on the ride. If you're here to hear me run my mouth or see me work on the AI question that my son put in, stick around. And yes, my daughter was like, she gets on here and stays forever. It's not forever. I'm going to work on what my son asked and then I will log off. But if nobody has told you today, you look fabulous. You smell even better. I hope that you eat something delicious that satisfies your taste buds and your stomach. I hope that you walk into and through rooms where you are welcomed and celebrated and safe. And I hope that you hear and listen to something that fills your soul. You know that idea? That idea that you mentioned in conversation last week? If nobody else heard it, I heard it, and it was a great idea. If you need any help fleshing out that idea, or you need help fanning the flames of enthusiasm and how you can take your idea to the next level, I am available. I am happy to help, and I am not prepared. But my very first author, her book is on the market right now. It is Queen Bee Chronicles by Dr. Melissa Bloom. It is available on Amazon right now. And why do I call her one of my authors? Because she worked with me to get her book started and finished. And I would love to help any other authors who are looking for some AI tools support, operational support. I am available. So until next time, take care. I was going to look for her website, her link, but I will have to do that in a moment. When did you say that? Oh, you said that when you were in the living room because I could hear you. And you've said it before. You say that I spend too much time on my little brunchy, but that's okay. It's fun. Instead of a New Year's resolution, I made a promise to myself that I was going to have fun this year. That is my word of the year is fun. And I'm a gigantic nerd. This is fun to me. So I am pulling up Amazon, if it will let me do it. All right. But I'm pulling up Amazon without all my Amazon shopping list showing up. And let me switch this window out so we can see this. Here we have Amazon. There's Amazon. And do we really need me in this screen? Oh, I better be careful. My poor little laptop doesn't like this. So I'm not going to mess with it anymore. I'm just going to pull up. Okay, this phone does not like this particular stream, but I'm going to click on it one more time. What? No, I didn't hear that part. Um, I didn't hear that part at all. And that is what these headphones are for. What do you think I have headphones for? It's not even loud outside. We live in the country. We live in the country here in South Carolina, and sometimes people are riding their four-wheelers outside, and also sometimes it's just a bunch of dogs barking, or it could also be the rifle range that we can hear, or not the rifle range. So, Queen Bee Chronicles is what I'm looking for right here. And here is my first author's book. I have my copy on the way. Queen Bee Chronicles: Empowering Women to Challenge Biases and Spark Change by Melissa Bloom, EDD. Queen Bee Chronicles is a groundbreaking exploration of the hidden biases that hinder women's progress in leadership roles. Author Melissa Bloom fearlessly uncovers the systemic barriers and societal expectations that often go unnoticed, shedding light on the pervasive nature of bias, intersectionality, and its impact on women's professional journeys. Through personal anecdotes, compelling research, and insightful analysis, Bloom reveals the deep rooted biases that shape our perceptions and limit opportunities for women. She offers practical strategies and empowering insights to help women navigate these challenges and claim their rightful place as leaders. This book serves as a rallying cry for individuals and organizations alike to confront their own biases and foster inclusive environments that empower women. Whether you are a woman striving to break through the glass ceiling or an ally seeking to create an equitable workplace, this book provides the tools and knowledge needed to dismantle bias and foster a more inclusive society. It is a must read for anyone passionate about empowering women and driving positive change in the realm of leadership. And here, we'll click on the no, I can't click on the larger images because it's going to break my computer. Here is the back cover as well. And I'm not sure if it will come up, but let's see. Melissa had a podcast interview with Kim Harris. We all worked at the same place together, and her podcast interview can be found at In the Lead with Kim Harris, available on any streaming platform and on Kim Harris's website as well. Here is the interview, and I am not certain if the sound is going to work. Let me see if our friend OBS will do. Okay, I am going to try this window right here and see if it will work. And I'm going to turn my talking self off so that I could hear whether this is going to work. Just a little shout out portion. Let me get to the right part.
Welcome to In the Lead podcast with your host, Kim Harris.
In my life, but I have to say, and this, she's mentioned in the very beginning of my thank you chapter. Julissa Nixon kicked my butt on this book. She was like, "Girl, you're going to write in 50 days. I want the draft." And I was like, "There's no way I could write a book in 50 days." But she's one of those people, if you know her, that made it happen. She offered me a lot of very honest feedback. I think she's a very dynamite woman boss, and this book would not be written had it not been for her.
Yes, I do know her well, and I'm so glad you mentioned her. I've been following her for a while, and she is such a quiet force, but one so intensely positive and really wants to see you do well. And that you is like anybody who crosses her. Really wants to do well. And I know she's doing her own thing in the AI. And make sure that we drop her socials in this particular podcast. But
there! What an awesome interview. And also, if you're looking for a book plan, I am available. Congratulations, Melissa. I am so happy for you. And I'm very excited to see what the future holds with your company and your book. And there was an echo, but I am surprised that I got this to work at all. With the way that I work with technology, I'm shocked. But back to, let me see if any of these will work for me. Not this one. Okay. Which one? Not this one. It's this one. There we go. And did I fix my sound? Okay. If I can learn to prompt engineer, anybody can. If I can learn all of these various things that I have learned how to do in the past 6 months, anybody can learn. Be encouraged. You can learn how to do this too. There is a genius inside of you. We just sometimes need a little help to bring it out. AI can be that help. And if you need some guidance or support, I can be that help too. Okay. I am now going to figure out. I'll use Bard, and I will try to use the free version of ChatGPT for what my son asked and see if what happens with that. But I will also probably have to go over to the paid version of ChatGPT for the summary that he asked for if I can get any information. So I need to close this out really quickly. And it's just me with my dark background. I need a new chat. There we go. So we have a new chat in ChatGPT. And I move myself up. Hold on. I'm moving everything. I'll move myself. No, I'm moving everything. There we go. Move myself up here. And I can see the messaging portion of ChatGPT. This is the free version. And I'm going to put the prompt in that my son asked for. Okay, where's the prompt? Let's see. Jujutsu Kaisen. Let me type that first. Kaisen. And you want a summary of all of it. So seasons 1 and 2 and the movie. Okay, let's see how I'm going to come up with the prompt. As I said earlier in this stream, the prompt is what makes the prompt is like the key that you put into a car, to get the car to start. The prompt is that for all of these kinds of chatbots. So I'm just going to have to figure out how to word this. Okay, please summarize seasons one, no, season one, season two, and the movie spelled right, of Jujutsu Kaisen. Please provide a chronological summary, right? Let me read what he asked for again. His his message I think is longer than my prompt. Tell ChatGPT to summarize the entirety of Jujutsu Kaisen up to this point in chronological order. The anime, seasons 1 and 2, and the movie only. Okay. So seasons 1 and 2, I said season 1, season 2, I said the movie. Um, that's it. Please, you can provide as much detail as you like in your summary. He didn't put this in the text, but I remember he said he wanted it to be super long. I'm not certain why, but ChatGPT is wordy. So let's see. I just gave it as much leeway as it wants to provide as much detail as it wants. I'm going to send that message. Okay, that's not super long. We got one for season 1. We got one for season 2. It's like 2 paragraphs for each thing. We're going to say that the conversation is helpful. One thing about using AI chatbots, you can ask for anything you want, but if you don't know whether the chatbot is telling you the truth or not, you could just be one, perpetuating stereotypes, two, you could be out here looking foolish because it's just telling you stuff and you're believing it because whatever the machine says, right? I don't know if this is accurate, but it gave what? 1, 2, 3 paragraphs for season one, 1, 2, 3 paragraphs for season two, and 1, 2, 3 paragraphs for season three. What's that, Mama? Oh, it's nothing? Okay. Okay, we're good. Cool. So we have a summary of Jujutsu Kaisen from ChatGPT's free version. I am going to ask Bard the same thing. I did not get a new. Before I put this prompt in, I'm just going to tell it to disregard because I'm deleting this entire chat from Bard anyway. So we have please disregard the last conversation. I would like you to work on something else, something different for me now, please. Okay. So putting in the please disregard the last conversation is kind of like an instruction to the chatbot to clear the slate. We'll see if that works. And I copied the prompt that I used in the free version of ChatGPT and I just pasted it here. It says, please summarize season 1, season 2, and the movie of Jujutsu Kaisen. Please provide a chronological summary. You can provide as much detail as you like in your summary. And sent that on. I'm going to do the same thing here with Claude. And I'm going to say, please disregard. Disregard the conversation above, which is slightly different than what I said to Bard. So, like I just said, if you give a command to an AI chatbot, the ones that are text to text anyway, that you want it to ignore the last interaction or ignore like the last two interactions or whatever, that is the last prompt and answer, prompt and answer for the last two interactions. It will either go back to before those two interactions, or what I'm saying here, please disregard the conversation above, is wiping the slate clean completely and the last conversation did not happen. And I am pasting in the Jujutsu Kaisen prompt, sending the response, and we're going to go back to Bard while it works on this. Okay. No, no, that's that. Okay. Okay, so the movie, it's saying the movie is an optional prequel. And then we have season 1. It talks about the key events. Then we have season 2, and it gives bullets for the key events. And then it says Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 is still ongoing with new episodes currently airing. ChatGPT didn't say that, and it looks like it did not give a chronological summary because Bard is saying that the movie is actually an optional prequel. Because I don't know anything about this, and Bard is an evil genie anyway, it could be making up stuff. But one of the advantages, and then it talks about themes and takeaways. One of the advantages of using Bard, even though it doesn't have the level of confidentiality that ChatGPT, not the free version, but the paid version, when you um, take off the training and also Claude, but it's tied to the internet. And you can click the G and it will search for statements to corroborate what it's saying. If you see a green highlight, that means that there is a link on the internet somewhere that corroborates what Bard is telling you. Everything on here that is highlighted is green, so that's a good sign. Then we have Claude's response. All right, so what we have here is a summary of the first two seasons and the movie. and not necessarily in chronological order, because here for Claude it says Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie, which means it should have provided the movie first. It is also 1, 2, 3 paragraphs for season 1, 1, 2, 3 paragraphs for season 2, and then 1, 2 paragraphs for the movie. Um, and it doesn't say that season 2 is still ongoing. Hey mama, if you're still on here, is season 2 still ongoing for Jujutsu Kaisen? You think so? Okay. So, if we were going to pit ChatGPT, Bard, and Claude, all the free versions against each other, Bard wins this one because it, first of all, it gave more information. Second, it provided like themes and stuff and takeaways, but it also said that season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen is still ongoing and put everything in chronological order, which is what I asked all three of the prompts, what all three of the prompts asked the chatbots to do. Okay, I am going to open Chrome. I separate out the paid version of ChatGPT from the free version of ChatGPT, and I generally don't use Chrome at all except for ChatGPT. All right, I just closed the window screen. Let's open a new window screen. All right, we have Chrome right here. And as you can see, this one is ChatGPT 4, which is the paid version. I have the chat history off because I was working on something that I did not want kept. As soon as you close out ChatGPT when you're working on something where the chat history is off, all of that work is gone. So as you can see down in the little blanked out portion right here, there are other chats that I still have, and those are there. The large language model that OpenAI has is it's feeding the machine basically. And you will also notice that it has upgrade plan and it talks about collaborating on a team plan. Since I pay $20 a month for ChatGPT Plus, the next upgrade would be an additional $5 a month to collaborate on a team plan. And if I do work with anyone else, it would probably make sense to collaborate. Right now, it does not necessarily make sense for me. And the whole reason I opened the paid version, hold on, I see you have a chat. Oh, it ended at the end of December? So you're saying Bard did not win? Well, shucks. That means that Bard had incorrect information in its response. Let's see if the paid version of ChatGPT, which is attached to the internet live time, will give accurate information. And all I did was paste, please summarize season 1, season 2, and the movie Jujutsu Kaisen. Please provide a chronological summary. You can provide as much detail as you like in your summary. So let's see what the paid version of ChatGPT does and how that compares to the free version. Already, I see that there is much more detail being provided. Same prompt, it's giving a plot summary, it is putting it in chronological order. So we are looking at live time, the difference between the free version of ChatGPT, which is how I taught myself how to do prompt engineering, and the paid version of ChatGPT, live time difference. And it says here, season 2 hasn't been released as of my last update in April 2023, so the details are based on the manga's progression. I didn't ask for the manga's progression. Huh. However, each one of these has its little quirks. Jujutsu Kaisen 0. This should be first, because if it's 0, it's a prequel. And this is making assumptions. So, while ChatGPT paid version provided additional information, it is giving for season 2 information from the manga. I didn't ask for that. I asked for the anime. All right, I'm going to refine my question because clearly I did it wrong. Please summarize the anime Jujutsu Kaisen. Season 1, Season 2, and the movie. Okay. Please provide a chronological summary of the movie and 2 seasons of the anime. Please stick with only, nope, please provide a summary of only the anime and movie material. You can provide as much detail as you like in your summary. So I am putting a slightly different prompt in here, refined it so that I am doing exactly what my son asked for, which was only the movie and the anime, and see what the paid version of ChatGPT is going to give for that. Okay, we have setting, we have key characters, and if you notice, the key characters does not have as much detail as the main characters did right here in the first response. Honestly, sometimes there is no telling what these chatbots are going to give. With the exact same information, it is giving slightly different responses. It has a plot, it has a summary of the plot here. The movie shows up first as 0. No, it doesn't. Season 1 shows up. And then the movie, and then it has season 2, and it says based on the anime release schedule. It says it hasn't been released. And then it talks about the arc is anticipated to feature a major confrontation. Okay. It's okay. Very interesting that changing a few words gave such a different summary when it's the same anime and movie. So there is no telling. You have to be very careful with these. I don't know if Bard lies on purpose. Um, One thing that I learned about AI in my certification is that I don't like looking at this. I'm gonna move back to the other window because I like looking at the brighter color. But one thing I learned is that even the developers of these AI chatbots don't know how they work. So we can't really tell if they're lying on purpose or if it's just not understanding what we've asked for. Um, the term they use for that, they call it a black box. And that is a little frightening, actually. The people who started the engines, who started these large language models, don't even know how they work. So it could be lying on purpose, but I don't know. Now you will get an answer. So that's why I call it an evil genie. You'll get an answer, but you don't know if the answer is true. You don't know how much of it is made up. And if you look at the fact that so much of the internet very soon is going to be either modified or generated using generative AI, soon we're not going to know what is real, not real, what was made up by like a bard. And I find it funny, ChatGPT, people pay for it. I pay for it. But we don't know if what it's telling us is the truth, unless we are an expert or we know about a particular subject. We don't know if what these chatbots are telling us is true, made up, false. We don't know any of that. But that is that for today. I didn't even read any of them. Is there a particular one of the responses that you would like me to read? Oh, yeah. You could talk about spreading disinformation. You can talk about deep fakes. Because while I'm here, I'm going to bring up this right here. Um, I think the website is called This Person Does Not Exist.com. All right, so this website is called This Person Does Not Exist.com, has been in existence for years. And what this website can do is before generative AI came along, before anybody had access to it, like other than developers, you just go to this website, thispersondoesnotexist.com, and refresh, and we'll get a new person. This person doesn't exist. And refresh, and we get a new person. This person does not exist. Hold on, one more time. Refresh. This person does not exist. So this website has been around for years. Um, and you can just go here and click refresh, and it just brings up people who don't exist. Now, if you take one of these pictures or a text to image AI generated picture and you put it into a text to video or a photo to video AI, you can get this person on screen who does not exist to talk. How are we supposed to know if that's a real person or not? We don't. Anyway, that's as much unhinged yak yak as I'm going to do today. And I will say thank you for coming along on the ride. I hope that some of this was informational and maybe a little bit of fun. If you are looking for some help learning about AI or trying to figure out whether something is true or false or a deep fake or real, and I might be able to be helpful, feel free to use, I will move this. Feel free to use the QR code that is on the screen or the Fiverr link that is on the screen. I would be happy to help you navigate AI in a compassionate and human focused way. And if you're looking to get some business ideas and use AI to make some money, I can help you with that too. Until next week, take care. Bye.